the most disgusting promotional tactic of the year. Right. So, did you split it by WWE, non-WWE for this one?
I did.
Or is it? Okay, I did too. So, I'll go first with mine here and just roll it out, and then we'll see if they kind of, mix, right? So, the WWE's most disgusting promotional tactic, I should say, is the entire build and pay-per-view of Crown Jewel, which happened in the shadows of the Jamal Khashoggi murder, pretty much, and call it what it is. And going forward with that show in the country that committed said murder of an American citizen, by the way, just weeks after said murder was, alleged to have been committed, just shows that WWE is in it for one thing, and it is the almighty dollar, because both Crown Jewel and the Greatest Royal Rumble last year were the two shows that generated the most amount of cash for WWE, partially because they were booked in shows by the Saudi government. And the Saudi government paid through the you-know-what for them, with WrestleMania last year in New Orleans being the third most generated thing. This was not optically, it wasn't the best thing for WWE to do. And they should have, in light of it, they should have canceled it and moved it to, another location. I know that they had been talking about moving it to, the UK potentially, or even just rebranding a house show in Uniondale, Long Island as the Crown Jewel pay-per-view that night, or, close to that date as well. Both of those would have been better plans than what they went ahead with, in my opinion. This kind of just shows a lack of sensitivity and a lack of times, and they were lambasted by the mainstream media for it, and good for them for doing so. And it's a laughing stock. Best of luck trying to get WWE talent on Last Week Tonight and or, Colbert's show in the future, Vince.
I don't disagree with a single word you said, my friend. It just baffles me that they continued to go with the event. And we know why they did, because they got paid, near almost $100 million just to do the show. Mm-hmm. But that they couldn't put, what was right ahead of the money at all. Their only thing was, I think they had Stephanie say, while we don't agree with what happened there, we're still going to honor our commitments to Saudi Arabia. So that's kind of a backwards way to say, we don't like what you're doing, but whatever.
Yeah, not great. Not great at all. So, non-WWE wise, I have Impact as the... For as much good as Impact has done in 2018 on the wrestling side and that stuff, they did a lot of bad. And one of the bad things they did with their wacky film style that they like to use, because that's an Impact trademark now and that stuff, is they killed a kid in a drive-by. Leading up to Bound for Glory in the build between the LAX OGs and, the new LAX. Yeah, there was I don't want to get into explaining it, but there was a vignette where a kid got ran over by a car, and the car kept driving.
I didn't see that, but it sounds horrible.
It's bad. It is. It's one of the worst things I've seen in any recorded medium for a while, and it was like, well, Impact killed a kid. All right, that's fun.
My pick, since I haven't seen that moment, and I was going to pick Aries again, but we've talked about it so much today.
We've talked about that one to death.
Yeah, I don't know if I can talk about it again, even though Aries is racking up the trophies tonight.
I mean, yeah, you can go ahead and say that if you want. Go right ahead if that's.
I've changed it last minute because there is a promotional tactic that just I was not a fan of, and It would be the penis versus penis angle with Hangman and Joey Ryan.
Okay, from being the elite and the lead into All In and that stuff.
Yeah, it's just not a fan of it.
Which I guess,
it's not, to me, it's not entertaining. It's just, Beavis and Butthead humor. Which
I guess we can technically say is AEW's first entry into our list here. So there it is. With that stuff, and it wasn't for everybody. I kind of get the humor that they were going with, but it wasn't my favorite stuff that happened that night on All In. It's the All In show was so solid from front to back, with the exception of that. That was just kind of that wasn't the best bit of it, but they pulled it off. That it was such an awesome independent wrestling all-star card that I've mentioned on this channel before, Double or Nothing. Now that it is its own entity, I don't think it'll have that same feel.
No, they can't do it again because it's too indie.